Hello students, I welcome you all to this virtual learning platform. For the past few days, we have been dealing with various elements of English grammar with a special focus on tenses in English, aspects in English, and today in this class I am going to talk on various moods in English. So let us proceed with the presentation for the day. So friends, so far we talked about time and aspect. Now I would like to let you know something very important related to the various types of expressions and that you generally categorize as the moods in English. What do you mean by mood? Actually, mood is the form of a verb that takes to show how it is to be regarded as. It means the word will let you know whether the speaker or the writer has presented a fact, expressed a wish, given a command, or made a request, or made an interrogation, or expressed a kind of uncertainty. So all such expressions, when we put forward in the particular language, that kind of expression is called as a mood. So let us try to understand all these things with a few more finer details. Since we are studying English language and English grammar here, in English, there are 4 primary moods. 1, indicative mood. 2, interrogative mood. 3, imperative mood. And 4, subjunctive mood. When do you use the indicative mood? Whenever you are stating any matters, making your declarative, either positive or negative statements, and simply your mood or your intention behind that expression is stating certain matters. That's all. So such kind of expressions are called in the indicative mood. Second, you have interrogative mood. While living our life, we keep asking several questions to the people around. When you question a matter, that questioning becomes interrogative mood. Third, we have imperative mood. We give commands, orders, requests. Sometimes we make requests also. So when we do so in our day-to-day life, it means we do express the imperative mood. And finally, you have subjunctive mood. This mood is used to express non-factual situations like wishes, greetings, conditions, hypothetical events or matters. When you do so, it means you are in subjunctive. Let us go further. Here on your screen, I presented 3 different categories. That is time, aspect, and tense. Because since we started talking about English grammar with a special focus on tenses in English, you need to correlate all these things like time, aspect, mood. And parallelly, you should also know what is the tense behind, how the tenses are correlated. Now I'm talking about the present tense in English. When you look at present tense in English, it means you talk about the present time. And you have 4 aspects of the respective present time. Simple aspect, progressive aspect, perfective aspect, perfect progressive aspect. Already we had a full discourse in this respect. Now you try to correlate all these things in the respect of tenses in English. Already I said, we are talking about present tense in English. It means we are talking about present time in English. So you have present time. Simple aspect is correlated to simple present tense. Progressive aspect is correlated to present continuous tense. Perfect or perfective aspect is correlated to present perfect tense. And you have perfect progressive aspect, which is correlated to present perfect continuous tense. So this way you need to remember so that you will never create any confusion in the respect of time, aspect, and tenses. Now look at another slide. I'm talking about the past tense in English. When you say past tense in English, it means you say past time in English. So you have 4 aspects again. Past time, simple aspect. Past time, progressive aspect. Past time, perfective aspect. And past time, perfect progressive aspect. Now you try to correlate the tenses in the same respect. Past time, simple aspect, simple past tense. Past time, progressive aspect means past continuous tense. When you say past time, perfective aspect, it means past perfect tense. And finally, you have past time, perfect progressive aspect. It means past perfect continuous tense. Similarly, you can talk about future tense in English also. When you say future tense in English, it means you want to say future time in English. So you have future time, again 4 aspects and 4 tenses. Now you see how it happens. Future time has a simple aspect, means simple future tense. Future time progressive aspect means future continuous tense. Future time perfective aspect means future perfect tense. And future time perfect progressive aspect means future perfect continuous tense. So this is how you need to correlate time, aspect, and tenses in English. Now, I would like to focus on the major concern of the day today, that is various moods in English and certain examples in the same context. Let us look at the board. You have 3 colors that I adopted. For present time, I adopted green color. So all the examples or all the inputs provided on the screen like time, aspect, mood, and example. In green color, all of them are related to present time. In red color, like time, aspect, mood, and example, all are related to the past tense or past time. And finally, you have purple color, like time, aspect, mood, and example. All these are related to the future time or future tense. Let us try to understand each of them so that you will have a clear idea of different moods in English. Now I'm talking about the present time, simple aspect, imperative. In the imperative mood, the example is work sincerely. Simple example then, right? Because in the imperative sentence, you don't go for subject. Okay, without the subject, the things are expressed. What is offered? A suggestion is offered. Something is suggested over here. Work sincerely. If you work sincerely, automatically results will be positive. See the second sentence here. Present progressive indicative tense or indicative mood, right? Present tense, indicative mood. I am going to present this topic. You can now, right now, you can take in my context. I am talking about moods in English, right? So how do I say? I am going to present this topic. Right now, I am presenting this topic. I can say like this also, right? So here you have, I am going to present this topic that indicates your mood. And what is that mood? It is an indicative. See the another example of the mood here, present perfect, time present, aspect perfective or perfect. You have the interrogative mood here. Have you been there before? Just a minor enquiry is made. Whether you have visited a particular place that I am talking about. Have you been there before? Question mark. When you find a question mark, it means that is an interrogative. Similarly, you have present perfect to progressive aspect. Let us look at this subjunctive mood here as I expressed. Kalyan has been thinking his sons were faster at getting ready. Okay, there are a few people, those who are very slow at getting ready. So Kalyan has been thinking his sons were faster at getting ready. And this is the subjunctive mood. Then you have the past time. Again, 4 aspects are there. Simple, progressive, perfective, and perfect progressive. So there are a few examples, just for your better understanding, I'm trying to provide you. You have the past simple indicative mood. You say like this, I performed in the musical drama. I, functioning as subject of the sentence, performed. Perform is the base form. Performed is V2, means past form. I performed in the musical drama. Were you painting the fence? So this is a question asked. And when you find it, that there is a question mark at the end, it means it is an interrogative mood. Then you have the past perfective imperative mood. Make sure Kiran had called stop. So here again a suggestion is offered. Just find out, make it sure whether Kiran had called the store, because you may be expecting some sort of inquiry, some sort of details. Then find out whether Kiran had called the store or not. Then you have the past perfect progressive subjunctive mood. See the subjunctive mood here. She had been asking Rakesh to work in the night shift since long. She, third person, singular number, functioning as subject of the sentence. Had been asking. So it is very clear that had indicates past. Been asking indicates perfect progressive, and that's why this is the past perfect progressive tense in the subjunctive mood. Now look at a few examples of future tense also. So if you have future time, simple, progressive, perfect, and perfect progressive aspects. And there are a couple of examples of different moods also, like indicative mood, interrogative mood, indicative or subjunctive mood, whatever that I provided on your screen. Look at this. Future simple indicative mood. Narendra will come to the meeting. You can also make it a negative sentence by applying not there. You can say, Narendra will not come to the meeting. By simply adding or deleting not, you can make a big difference there. Then, future progressive in interrogative mood. Will you be coming to the university tomorrow? Question mark. It means this is an interrogative mood. See, the future perfective indicative mood. I will have tried to be more patient with children. Full stop. This is an indicative mood. And finally, you have future perfect progressive subjunctive mood. She will have been sleeping in her room. This is a subjunctive mood. So in all these cases, if you carefully look at the mood in particular, you will realize that these are the 4 different types of moods that we do express or use in our day-to-day life. As I discussed about this slide, that there are 4 types. 1, indicative mood. It is used for stating matters. 2, interrogative mood. It is used for questioning the matters or the people. 3rd, imperative mood. It is used for giving or making requests or giving commands or giving orders, etc. And finally, you have subjunctive mood. It is used in order to express non-factual situations like wishes, conditions, or hypothetical events in life. So these are the things related to time, aspect, and mood.